Sure. Pleasant good evening and welcome to Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. Thank you so much for joining us on our Facebook Live. I see one person. It's always Trish. She's always first. Oh, poor baby, I swear. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, officially checking in. Good evening to Reggie Miles. Thank you so much for having me on your StreamYard earlier. We were talking, of course, about Casper, who made his transition this time last week. I feel like, Duran, what's going on, sir? I feel like that song, 1 week ago today, I was happy as a lark. Have you seen him? Anyway, coming up in our last hour, we'll do a little thing we call foreplay. 4 songs by one of your favorite artists or groups, male or female. That's in our last hour here of Bedtime Stories. As well as we lost one of the greats. He was, I believe, 98 years old, if I'm not mistaken. His name was Clarence Avant. If the name doesn't sound familiar, he's responsible for some of the careers of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Bill Withers, the Presidents. Remember them? 5, 10, 15, 20? Yeah, that song. And that was just the Sussex years. Then he went to, of course, um, Taboo Records. Taboo, of course, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, the SOS Band, Alexander O'Neal, Sherelle, and the list goes on and on. He was the godfather of black music, and we will celebrate him tonight. Clarence Avant, right here on Bedtime Stories. But right now, let's kick it off with the Isley Brothers and Lover's Eve on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. We got Deron Williams and we got Zorana Williams. What's up? What's up, Ronnie? Pat Westbrook. Pat with the fat jaws. No, I ain't gonna bust you out like that. Mm-mm. That's my girl, Westbrook. Westbrook and I used to work together at WJPC, and she used to tease me all the time. She's like, "You've been around Richard Peggy too long. You carrying all them keys on your key ring." I said, "Yeah, yeah." I couldn't help it. Richard used to have this ring, right? And the ring was like one of those jailer's rings, and it had a whole bunch of keys on it. I'm like, "Do you even know where all these keys go?" And he did. You know, he was like a janitor. He had his janitor's keys. He had this building. Well, he had sublet these apartments in this building that he lived in at the Newport Park Apartments. Well, anyway, so he had, I guess you could say he had the keys to everybody's apartment, right? And he personally come and collect the rent every month. Um, when he passed, there were a bunch of checks that were uncashed. You know, everybody's rent had been paid, of course, but I think he just held on to their checks. I'm like, wow. He was, man, a giant among men. He was a giant. He was, Richard was the best. You know. But anyway, we ain't talking about Richard tonight. We're talking about Casper. Casper. DJ Casper. Mr. C the Slide Man. All of that. Casper was more than just a DJ. He was more than just a stepper. You know, he did everything. He was a he was an entertainer. He was a true entertainer, and we hadn't seen anything like that in a while here in Chicago, where somebody did everything. He's like our own little Sammy Davis Jr. here in Chicago. You know, he took everything seriously, man. I'm like, man, this is just a little gig, man. Please, you couldn't tell him. It was like a big production to him. It's just a little gig, man. How dare you? This is an extravaganza, And he treated everything. Yes, he is. Yeah. I mean, he treated everything as if it were, you know, big and great and had grandeur and all of that stuff. You know, whether we were at Mr. G's or wherever we were doing these parties, you know, because that was his whole life. That's what he did. What about the restaurant he just opened or about to open? It's open. It's out there in Calumet City. Yep. I couldn't tell you who was going to run it, Um, he and I had talked about it, but I ain't trying to run no restaurant or club or whatever, you know. But if it comes down to that, yeah, I guess, I look at it this way: whatever he wanted me would have wanted out of me. So, but that was all. That's all he wanted to do. Like I told people, I've never known Casper to have a real job. You know, whenever he called me, I was always at work, right? Hey man, where you at? Work. Hey Trish, where you at? Work. I guess he didn't believe other people, had like real jobs and stuff. He just thought, we were all in entertainment and we all made our own hours and everything else. So, hey man, I need you to do these openings for these people. It's like where he would find these people, I don't know. He found one guy who looked just like Biggie and had him do it. Had him doing Panama. I'm like, wow. You found a guy that looked like Biggie. Okay. He said, man, you look just like Biggie. I'm like, really? Okay, I'll see him. He sent me a picture of the guy. I'm like, yeah, he's a dead ringer for Biggie. Yeah. Everywhere I go, I hear Kiki. Great talking to you yesterday. Thanks for reaching out to see me, to see you this weekend. Man, I just wanted to hear your voice, man. It's just, we all need to, bond together in this time. We all have to be strong for Kim, for the grandkids, for you know, for everybody. We have to be strong for each other. And I just wanted to, I know how hurt you are because I know I'm hurt. Like I told you, you may have known him longer, but I've known him just as well. So, um, like I always say, they hated to see you guys coming, boy. Y'all pull out them skates. They were like, oh, before y'all even performed, they were just like, just give them the money now. Just give them the money. You all were, and I said this tonight on Reggie Miles Live. I said they hated to see you guys coming. It was like there's no way. John Caldwell, there's no way they could beat you all unless they put on skates. And it was the same way with the world's largest steppers contest. It was like freestyle, Casper and Cleo, Casper and Cleo, Casper and Cleo. You know, freestyle. He said he got taken down one night by some guy in a diaper. He said you couldn't beat that. He had to he had to do props in order to beat Casper. And that's the truth. You had to bring it. You had to bring it. Because when I say Casper hated to lose, Casper hated to lose. He thought he was better than everybody. He sized up the competition like he's a boxer. He's like, I got these. There was some other Avant that died. Thank you, Troy. Appreciate you. Some other Avant, yeah. He knows who it is. Don't even don't even engage Troy in any conversation. He knows who died. No damn John Avant, Jason Avant, whoever he is. That's my baby right there. Phyllis Hyman, living in confusion right here on Bedtime Stories. If it sounds different in here, it's because someone gave me a rug, and I put the rug here in the studio, and it made everything sound a whole lot better. I mean, a whole lot better. I'm like, this is crazy. It's just a rug. A rug is just a rug. But so far, this rug is working. I tell you. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Pat Westbrook wants to know which was first, the bus stop or the cha-cha slide. Just asking, no disrespect. I think the bus stop. And I think you're right. Charlie Green used to go from club to club. He said, yeah, give me X amount of money and I call a bus stop for you. The bus stop was just that popular back in the day. And then here comes Casper with the cha-cha slide. And Casper became the new Charlie Green. He went everywhere with the cha-cha slide, everywhere, all the way over to London. We lost him this time last week. I got the call. I said, Cleo called me in tears. She said, he's gone. He's gone, but he's not forgotten, Cleo. He's always going to be in our hearts. Willie. Just Willie. Heard somebody else call him William. Give the notations on Bedtime Stories. Um, I'm right here. Yep, the bus stop was first. Sundance did a tribute to him Saturday night, did she? That was the show that he used to host. And he credits me for getting that show. He didn't. He got the show because he had won so many times on the contest, or in the contest, I should say. They gave him a radio position. And of course, that was a radio position that I didn't want. I didn't want to be the Steppers radio personality. I was like, nah, I'm straight. Got enough problems in my life. So that was it. So he got that slot for Saturday nights. And I'm like, you go ahead, brother, you do that. I was like, I'm not gonna be in no studio no Saturday night where I can be making $400-500 or more. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Y'all, you go right ahead. So it got so good to him, he would go in and he would voice track the show, and then he would leave and then go do his gig. Because, he could voice track the show at any time. So that was it. I missed Sundance Tribute Saturday night. Where was I Saturday night? Was I working? Yeah. I was somewhere everywhere. So I didn't even know she had done a tribute. You know, I know how B103 is about their tributes to people. Let's see what they're going to do on the anniversary of the death of Herb Kent. Probably nothing. You know, that's what they do. Missed out on the passing of Clarence Avant. He was behind a whole lot of labels like Sussex and Taboo. He certainly was. Maurice, yes, he was. He was the man. He was the godfather. Let's see now. Mickey Howard. I know that's right. So many line dances now you can't keep up. Folks get lit and make up a line dance on the spot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a whole lot of them. All you need to do is to count to four. I know, right? you about right there, Mo. You about right. Anybody can make up a line dance. Doo-ba-doo-doo-doo. Good Lord. My first experience was at the 69 Club doing the bus stop. Lady G, what's going on? Can't wait until Monday to get back to work. I know that's right. You and me both. You and me both. Congratulations. Welcome back to the workforce. I choose you. Now, if I can get my daughter to get a job, that would be all right. I'll be laying on full. I might buy another car. Or fix up the ones that I have already. I might paint both of them black. Yep. Were they doing the bus stop on the Big Bill Hill show? Um, I don't think Charlie Green had done it back then. I'm pretty sure he didn't. The bus stop actually didn't come out until the 70s. By that time, Big Bill Hill was off because he was on the air, what, 60s, early 70s. And then that's when Charlie Green did the bus stop. Guess who came up with the lyrics for the bus stop, Pat? You'll never guess. Who came up with the lyrics for the bus stop? Richard Piggy Paris from the west side of Chicago. And I choose you right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you, as always, for joining me. Hello to Pat Westbrook, Lady G. Who else is in my chat room besides Troy? Running amok as usual. Mo King, my brother from another mother. Hey, Mo. Ronnie, Les Keith Scott, aka Kiki. Thank you so much. He said, what did Kiki say? Wait a minute. He said, great talking to you yesterday. Thanks for reaching out to me. See you this weekend. Brother, it's going to be a funeral fit for a king. It'll probably be bigger than Purvis Span's funeral because his was pretty big. It was at Apostolic. So I just know that we're going to send Casper off in style as the guy that's executive produced this song, Clarence Avant, known as the godfather of music, black music, that is. You're the presidents on his label Sussex, right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. I do sound better. Well, thank you. Been there, done that, Kiki. Got my suit today. Thanks to my intern at the radio station. Yeah. Best intern I've had in a long time, I tell you. Back in the day, we used to call them we call them gophers. They would go for this, go for that, but not anymore. Now we call them our personal assistants. So I have a personal assistant, and my personal assistant went out and found me a suit. I was like, okay. So, Lady G, I remember the Big Bill Hill show. They were sponsored by Dell Furniture. You do well to shop at Dell, which reminds me of Al Benson. Pekin Cleaners. To be recognized, you must be Pekinized. This is your old swing master, Al Benson, giving you red hot and blues on WYNR, 1390 AM on your AM dial. I was like, wow. Personal assistants are paid jobs as if exploiting someone for free labor. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're right, Troy. You're right. Like those shows that I see. What is that show with the big girl in it? It'll come to me. The comedian. It's a good show too. She's, of course, the executive producer of the show and creator and everything. Good. Donnie Chump was just indicted on 10 counts in Georgia. That's interesting, Troy. Donnie Chump. Hmm. I never thought I'd hear you or see you talk about 45. Like, wow. You thought he was the greatest president of all time. Yep. He was the greatest president that ever lived, according to some people who drank the Kool-Aid. Oh, let me stop. They will shut me down talking about Trump. You just have to wait until he gets that orange jumpsuit on, and then people will take notice as to what we've been saying all along. That no one, absolutely no one, is above the law. Orange Oompa Loompa. You said that, Ronnie, not me. I'm just reading what you said because I don't want to get in no trouble. You know, how's he gonna run the country from a jail cell? I don't know. And he continues to defy the judge, like, you know. And it was funny. We have to watch CNN at work. They compared him to John Gotti. I'm like, and John Gotti was brought down too. That's all I got to say. John Gotti. I'm like, do you really think that you're above the law? John Gotti did. Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm stating facts. So if anyone wants to be angry at me for stating facts and, boycott my live or whatever, I'm just going by um, what was posted on television. What's the name of the old barbecue joint on 78th and Halsted? Hmm. Uh, that's a good question. I can't remember that one. All I remember is on 77th and Halsted was a place called Illusion. Then it became What's Poppin'. Before that, it was The Godfather. John Gotti got out for switching, though. Or snitching, you mean? Yeah. Why don't somebody just put him out of his misery? Watch out there, Lady G. Big Brother's watching. Big Brother is watching. Yep. I know, snitching. I think they advertised on WVON back in the day. Yep. Was What's Poppin' still open? What's Popping is now a parking lot for the police station over on 77th and Halsted. And he went back to selling. I know, right? Yeah, he snitched on everybody. The Ohio Players from the album Honey, the title track, right here on Bedtime Stories. Your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. We are talking about number 45, 45th President of the United States. They have put in like 10 more indictments against him. For all you Trump fans out there, you know, I just feel sorry for you. You know, once your leader goes down, you know, he's going to do some time, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. He keeps defying the judge is calling his case. Like, okay, you do know she's a black woman, right? Yeah. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Here's the first of two in a row from Luther Vandross, that is. Sometimes it's just love. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, and this is Bedtime Stories. Feel better now. Luther clubbing back in the day in Chicago was super fun. Yeah, you know, we used to leave one place and go to another place or someplace else. 75th and King Drive. Shameless plug, I know, right? Yeah, we used to, you know, one place would close and then we would go to the other one and was open until 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when they were giving out 4 o'clock licenses. And they would stay open until 5 o'clock on Saturday morning. But now who wants to stay in a club till 5 o'clock in the morning? I'm just saying. Nobody that I know of wants to stay in a club until 5 o'clock in the morning. Maybe the young people, you know, we're gonna shut this down. Like, you go right ahead. I'm gonna shut my body down and go to sleep. Cause brother tired, okay? He's a clown, Phil. Oh, okay. A blight on society. Okay. Tell us how you really feel, Lady G. Um, by the way, hello to our new viewers. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You all are very appreciated. I tried, and it felt so weird being out past 3. I know, right? Imagine Obama going to prison. Black folks would riot. Trump would go to jail, and watch people go crazy. January 6th, all over again. You're absolutely right, Bubbles. You're absolutely right. Talk about losing one's mind. Pat said end up at Isola's or Gladys's. Sure did. We would leave one place and go to another. Yep. Open. It seemed like Isola's was open 24 hours. Because we would leave the club and go to Isola's and have breakfast. Them salmon croquettes were off the chain. But she said, gotta love the mob. I know, right? Above the law. You know, no one is above the law. I remember I saw the movie they did on John Gotti, which was starring John Travolta as John Gotti. You know, Travolta did a great job of recreating. He had all the suits and the mohair coats and everything else. You know, and then at the end they showed the real John Gotti. You know, they said he was a ruthless killer. He said, they based some of the Sopranos, on him. I'm like, wow. But yeah, they were, Sammy Gravano and all the rest of them. They were all, all the movies, Casino, Goodfellas, that whole thing. You probably looked at those movies and like, ha ha ha, this is so weak. This is how you use the ice pick. Joe Pesci. Yeah, they said he was a ruthless killer. They said he was a toothless thriller. Where was Kevin's located? I don't know. Kevin's. Oh, 35th and Pershing. Man, there were so many places. Man. We just, we went from place to place. And that was it. It was like, hey, I'm funny how, huh? How am I funny? So, we leave one club. I remember one night meeting this young lady at, what was the name of that club? It was on 87th and Wood, Reese's. She had on patent leather shoes and those stockings with the seam up the back. I'm like, whoa. Good times, yeah. Yep. Army and Lou's on 75th Street. I remember, yeah. It's still sitting there. It's just not open. I remember having brunch in there one day with my good friend Leon. Man, I miss Leon. Who you talking about? Yeah. Same person I met over on, what is it, 87th and Stony. When I was doing the live brunch remotes from BJ's Market on 87th and Stony Island when I was at JPC. Man, those were the patent leather shoes, yeah. Black patent leather pumps. Carol Mosley Brown used to hang out at Army and Lou's when she was a senator. She sure did. That and she could be seen at Valois. As a matter of fact, our former president and first lady talk about Valois in Hyde Park. Fanika Rogers, what's up, Nikki? Dang, you still remember that, huh? Yep, I do. I remember you kept passing the place back and forth. Should I go in there? She's trying to walk back and forth, thinking you was going to lose some weight by the time you walked in there, huh? Like, just bring your ass in there. Yep. I remember that night you came to Reese's with the patent leather shoes on, the patent leather pumps. Yep. I remember where I met everybody. Pat, I met her at JPC. She was a sales rep. Yeah. Yep. She was a sales rep. I couldn't take her away from this guy. Cool B. Couldn't take her away. I'm like, Dad, he got it all locked up. Cool B. Well, a name like Cool B, it's like, that's competition right there. He calls himself Cool B. Yeah. Hey, I couldn't, I didn't have what it took back then. I had to stay in my lane. Miss Rogers, I remember where I met her. We were at Berlin's on a Sunday night, Prince tribute. That's where I met her. I was watching out for that maniac I was married to at the time. Oh, is that what it was? Oh, he was following you. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! That happened to me one night. This girl came to my house and she spent the night. You're wrong. That's not where I met you. Uh oh. Oh, I'm sorry. That's where I met Elo. Anyway, I knew you before I knew Elo. My bad. Okay. I stand corrected. You got the look. So don't be kicking in my book. Yeah, he was stalking me. Hey. This girl I was messing with, her no, haha, yeah, okay. Pat said the first time I saw you, Al was on the Holiday Star. But you didn't know me, but I knew you. Really? Elo said, sure did. Yep. That's where I met Elo at Berlin. Sorry, Nikki. Yeah. But now I remember where I met you or how I met you. But yep. I remember that night. I said, who's that over there? She said, that's Elo. I was like, what's the Elo? What? Mm-mm. Let's see if I can get a dance with Elo. Let's see if this Elo person will dance with me. Okay, I'm shutting up. Wanna love you, girl. Come on, Luther. Come on in the building, son. Make me a believer. Right here on Bedtime Stories. Something else from the album Busybody, if I'm not mistaken. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. I'm sure someone will correct me. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep. The greatest love songs of all time. Hello to Elo and to Nikki. Nikki, of course, is my youngest daughter's mother. She don't like to be called the other word, the BM word, She don't like that. I don't blame you. That's a little ghetto. This is my baby mama, Nah, it's not cool. Hey, Elo, hey, Pat Westbrook, Lady G. Yeah, I remember when I met Lady G. It was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. I remember the night I met Elo. We danced off of this song. Come on, my name. Thank you. Let me stop before I get in trouble. Because they will get me. Are they still doing that? I guess they are. Lady G. Lady G was being followed when she met me, boy. Yeah. He was a nightmare walking. Sure, he was a stalking. I had a splitting headache when I met you. Really? Wow, thank you, I guess. I'm sure the headache wasn't because of me, though. I'm sure it wasn't because of me, though. Or was it? It's like, nice to meet you. Oh, I have this headache, Mm-mm. She was all dialed up that night, boy, at Reese's, boy, when I was DJing there. Yeah. She's like, I'm in the back. She's all mysterious and stuff, like Dominique Devereaux on Dynasty. Shroud of Secrecy. Yep. Those were good times back then. I remember going to Berlin's and I had to borrow my auntie's car. I lived next door to her in her apartment. And I asked could I borrow her car so I could go to Berlin's. And I'm glad I did. But you hadn't eaten all that day. Okay. Mm-mm. Yeah. Those were the days where you could go anywhere and not get shot. I'm afraid to go to Berlin's now, you know. I might get let me shut up. Might get smoked by the Rainbow Coalition. I'm just saying. Open my mouth at the wrong time, boy. That'll be it. Be like, can we see you in the bathroom, Mr. Greer? Oh, it's a Dr. Greer? Okay. Yeah, okay. I go to Geno's and the Phase when I visit Chicago. I don't know what else is going on, but I enjoy these two. I was at Geno's last time, or last night rather. I was at Geno's. We shut down early about, usually the place closes at 1. Man, people were walking out at 11:30. They were tired. I was like, cool. We cruised right into midnight. And after that, last call, shut it down. I was home at 1 o'clock. Pamela Mahogany Clemens. I remember when I met her too. Back down memory lane. The Wings of the Bomb. Oh, at Geno's, man, the catfish fillets. Whew. Catfish fillets are to die for. Not the Phase on Ashland. Oh, no. That's where I meet up with Floyd Taylor, son of Johnny. I mean, they had so many places back in the day. Man. Yep. Met my second wife at the Leisure Life over on 79th right off of Phillips. Yeah. And she used to come up to the Sexty Sex when I had my scavenger hunt and I was the DJ. Yep. Yeah. Pamela's one of the original Al's gals when I first started it all. Remind us you it's such a lonely ride. I forgot to ask Dinah Lynn, were we still doing Grubhub? It's been a while since I got a Grubhub check, but I'm going to just keep playing their commercial. It's part of Boys Town. Are you talking about Berlin? Yeah. Yeah. Lil's is under new management because I've seen a lot of young people going in and out of there. I got fired from Lil's. The bartender fired me. Well, he was also the manager. So he fired me. He didn't like he didn't like the way I dressed. That's the only thing I can think of. It could not have been anything that had to do with my DJing skills. So it had to have been something. Let me get some wah 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 wah. Any spots downtown that you recommend? Williams Inn Pizza. Williams Inn Pizza. 2210 South Michigan. Peaches and Herb reunited right here on Bedtime Stories. The show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. And now a word from our sponsor. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Grubhub is a proud sponsor of Bedtime Stories here on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, your home for old school and dusties. WRLN, yeah, Ray Neal Media Station, as well as BiggsRadio.com, WDLB, Indianapolis and Chicago. We're talking about old places that were open back in the day. Lil Something Cool Lounge, which was still is on Cottage Grove, but it's under new management now. I don't think I would go in there now. Got some young folks, getting their juke on. Not even juke. It's, they call it something totally different, but I wouldn't go in there. The Rose, it's closed. What's Poppin', which was on 77th and Halsted, which is now the parking lot for the police station. Man, there were a lot of places. Pat Westbrook said, are there any places downtown? There's only one place downtown, and that's Williams Inn Pizza, 2210 South Michigan Avenue. Yeah, that's about it. But most of the places, all closed, gone by the wayside. Grand opening, grand closing. The Taste, what was the other place? Well, that one too, yeah. Just all of them. All of them gone. I remember I used to DJ at this place called The Castle. It was owned by two guys, Slade and Papa Joe. Yeah, they sounded just like they did. Slade and Papa Joe. Slade would go around saying, "Sure, you're right," and Papa Joe, he looked like he sounded a little short, round fella, you know. Anyway, tonight we pay tribute to both Casper and to Clarence Avant, the godfather of black music. He owned a few radio stations and a couple of record labels, Sussex and Taboo, and also ran Motown for a skosh. One of the groups on his label, the SOS Band. This is Tell Me If You Still Care, produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis on Bedtime Stories. Reese's is closed and boarded up. So is the restaurant that was next door. Yep. Yep. Like I said, a lot of these places, they weren't able to maintain. You know, the other place was my other spot. Herb used to spin there. Yep, he sure did. 75th Street before he went up the street to the 50-yard line. If he did that gig for a while, boy. Yep. Be right back. Ooh, excuse me. Pardon that. My new rug is thick. I think Al quit radio for good. It's a good decision. He's funny. Is Mr. Ricky still in the club business? I haven't heard from Mr. Ricky. Last time I heard from him, he was married to one of my, well, not him, but his son was married to one of my cousins. She said, "Now I need a nap." Dang, Lady G. Nanette Frank, Britain. Hey, Nanette Frank, Britain. Mm-mm. Bless her heart. Nanette Frank, Britain. We on with you tomorrow. Okay, sounds good to me. Sounds like a winner, winner, chicken dinner. Remember Fred Marbury? Yes, I do. I was introduced to Fred Marbury by Richard Pegee. He used to own a club called Players Choice over on Exchange. And I sang on one of Richard's jingles, singing about Players Choice. Yep, sure did. Player's Choice. Yep. Fred Marbury. Fred also had the Celebrity Lounge on 83rd Street. Yep. Yep. Richard followed Fred wherever he went. He did sets in or near Gary. Yep, sure did. Sure enough. Yep, Fred Marbury. Yep. If that's the case, this is a blast from your past. Hi, this is Frank Alexander from Streaming Wheels in Melton and Gary. Frank Alexander used to come in. Um, he used to come in and do these commercials, right? He never had a script. Fred never had a script. Never. He just come in and wing it for 60 seconds. No script. You know. I've enjoyed this trip down memory lane. So with that being said, I'm going to say goodnight Blessed dreams and peaceful risings to you all. Mm-mm. He was one of my clients, and Richard did the jingle for me for free, of course. Well, yeah. Yep, Richard was the man. Good night, Pat. I enjoyed you too. Thank you. Oh, you still okay? You still all in? Okay, cool. No one's gonna love you. What up, oh? The SOS band. No one is gonna love you the way I do. Your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello to Otis Owens Jr., also known as Little O. His dad was Otis Owens, Otis Owens Sr. My ADD is kicking in. Anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories. The show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed, but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. With your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Thank you for joining us as always here on our Facebook Live, as well as Twitter and YouTube. Thank you so much. Who's doing the eulogy for Casper? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. I think all of that will be determined towards the end of the week. I'm sure they will have some stuff for me to do as well. I was asked to speak. They're giving everybody 2 minutes. I'm like, 2 minutes? What can I say about Casper in 2 minutes? Well, I got it down to a few minutes. So, you know, I'll just say that for as long as I've known him, he's always been cool with me. Always. He has always been cool with me. We fell out a couple of times, but, you know, it's like me and my Uncle Bo. We used to fall out. He would kick me out of the house, and the next day he's like, "When you coming over here?" You just kicked me out the other day. Yeah, that was the other day though. When you coming over? I'm like, okay, I'm on my way, Uncle Bo. I'm on my way. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer, with one way featuring Al Hudson and Lost Inside of You on Bedtime Stories. They say 2 minutes, so folks won't go over 4 minutes. Yeah, but even with that, right? You know, people are still going to, you know, everybody has, fond memories of him. So if they can get all those memories into 2 minutes, hey, bless them. Bless them if they can get it in 2 minutes. Because once again, a lot of people have history with him. So a lot of people. Some people knew him longer than I have. I told Kiki, I said, you've known him the longest, but you know that doesn't mean I didn't know him. But we all knew him. We all had a piece of Casper, and it still hasn't sunk in yet. It just feels funny talking about him in the past tense. It just doesn't seem. Did he get real sick all of a sudden? They said the last time he was seen, I guess, out in public was at one of the Steppers picnics. And they said he was in a wheelchair then and that he had lost a lot of weight. But even then, he still came out, he still made an appearance. So that's how I still feel about Wayne. Yeah, me too. It's like both my brothers are gone, Wayne was another guy. We were close. We both had a fondness for Richard and Herb, so it's just hard to believe that Wayne is gone. Wayne was younger than me. Casper was younger than me. But I guess what they say, somebody has to stay around and tell the story, I guess. So, yep, somebody's got to tell the story. So that's it. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk to you all about. This is some personal stuff, but so get closer to the radio, ladies and gentlemen. So yesterday, was Sunday, of course. So I got a call from our church organist. He, like I, played for different, 2 different churches. So he wanted me to come pick him up from the church on 46 in Woodlawn, Greenwood, same place. I said, okay. So while on my way to pick him up, somebody stuck him up. No sooner he got off the phone with me, somebody put a gun to his face. So they ended up taking his money and his cell phone. And of course, they didn't, they didn't do anything to him. Thank God. He's like, he was just a little, a little perturbed because it was like, while this was all going on, everybody else was in the church. I guess church had just let out, so there was nobody left in the church but the pastor. Yeah, deep. So they called the police. I waited there with him, because I was going to take him to church, but he ended up not going. He was a little shaken up, so I can understand if he didn't want to play for church. But they got his loot and his cell phone. Well, later on that evening, I called his cell phone, me being the Billy badass that I am. I was hoping that the people who stole his phone, would pick up his phone. But unfortunately, they got rid of the phone. Well, fortunately for, my friend, they threw his phone down somewhere and he had like a tracker on it. So all they wanted was the money. They figured, hey, this man is a church musician. He just got paid in cash. Let's get him. And they did. They did. They got him. And that was it. But I was like, man, had that been me, what would I have done? I'd have gave him the money. It's not worth losing your life over. It's not trying to, worth being a hero. So, it was three of them. One of them had a gun. So it just ain't worth it sometimes. He said the guy with the gun was he was the smallest one. So he could have taken him, but it was two other guys. So, and they were young too, he said. So I kind of, I get it. They just wanted some money. It could have been an initiation of some sorts. So that was it. But once again, you get to live another day. It could have gone very wrong. But it didn't. These young folks are out of control. I mean, in that neighborhood, was it Woodlawn or Hyde Park? Woodlawn. Okay. I was like, okay, for real? Okay. And this was while he was waiting for me to come get him. Me with my crazy self, I'd have rolled up on him and, be like, pop, 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 pop. No filter, just, cat, 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 cat. I capped all three of them. Found out that he had a cap pistol. Like, and I wasted bullets. Mm-mm. Not that I have a firearm. No. Anyway, that's why the Obamas didn't come back, even though they got a house there. I know, right? The house still sitting there. It's still there. They guarded that house for a whole 8 years. 8 years. I'm like, go ahead. Nobody on the block unless you live there. And even then, you know, I got an aunt and uncle who live over there, not far from the Obama house, guarding a house that they would not go back to. Like, wow. Mm. Yep, the Obama said, we're moving, we're moving somewhere else. Chicago is a little out of hand. Michelle, Sasha Malia, I think we're gonna have to pull up stakes. That's what I'm saying. David Oliver and Ms. right here on Bedtime Story. She's Ms. Your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Pat Westberg was saying that that's why the Obamas didn't come back, even though they got a house there in Hyde Park. Or is that considered the Woodlawn area? Which one is it? Well, either way it goes, they're not coming back to Chicago. I guess they found a crib somewhere else, which is not bad, and we pay for it. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. This is Bedtime Stories, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed, but never to sleep with the greatest love songs of all time. It's Howard Hewitt, crystal clear on Bedtime Stories. Otis Owens Jr., too many kids. What? What? You mean too many kids? Who got too many kids? Definitely not me. I always said I was going to get a big house and put all my kids in the house, right? They grown now. Get a house of your own and let me move in. Roll through the house in my wheelchair. That's how big the house is going to be, right? Mm-mm. Ooh, this fan feels good. You all don't understand. I mean, in the wintertime, this room is cold. Ice cold. But yeah, I got a space heater and a fan in each room. It's like, depending on the time of the year, yes. Fire one up, Put the other one back in the closet. Yep. I think old people are behind all the shootings. Oh, Troy, Troy, Troy. I think you watch too much Bonanza, but anyway. Crystal clear. Where did Lady G go? The meds kicked in. She had to go to sleep. Lady G, she's on meds too. That's a commercial, you know. Big Lou, he's on meds too. Go on with your bad stuff, Lady G. I know many a night I come home when I was staying with Lady G. I come home, right, and she already be knocked out, boy. She wouldn't even hear me coming, her ear. But anyway, no, it wasn't like that, y'all. Not at all. Not at all. I think that old people are behind the shootings. Troy, Troy, Troy. I tell you. Mm-mm. Well, look at that, Troy. Nobody called me tonight to disturb me. Nobody. Nobody. It is 67 degrees outside. Where did all the nice weather go? I tell you. Yep, 67. It just dropped. Good Lord. Yeah. Fantasy Love. Here we go. One of the greatest bass players of all time, and one of the pretty good vocalists. Stanley Clark featuring Howard Hewitt. That is Fantasy Love. Right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. It is, of course, the show designed with the lovers in mind, where we put you to bed but never to sleep. The greatest love songs of all time. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Those who follow me on Facebook, it's Al Greer. I don't think I can have any more friends on Facebook. I think I'm up to the limit, right? 5,000. Now, I saw someone post one time. They said, I got 2,500 friends. Now, if all of those friends send me $1, I have 20. I'm like, what? That's an idea, though. Okay, I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. Now, if each one of those persons sends me $1 right now, I can get off this live right now. I can just go to bed. You know, I have 5 people watching me right now on Facebook, and how many listeners? I have 6 listeners. So those 6 listeners send each listener send me six. I'm sorry, send me $10. So that's $60. So that should buy me lunch for the rest of the week. Send it to my Zelle if you know my phone number, 773-519-1223. Send it to my Zelle. Look, I'm just doing a little experiment. 6 people, $10, $60. Should I double it? Nah. So he always begging. Dang. Can't stand it, Al Greer. This group celebrating, wow, 40 years. 40 years of music. Tower of Power, You're Still a Young Man. Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. I know, right, Bubs? Bubs. Bubsy. Don't waste your time. Baby. DoorDash is $60. I know, right? Too young, not so young. DoorDash is 60, so I should double it, right? Okay. Think twice. Too young, way too young to learn. Waste your time. The damage is done. That you were wrong. That's a good. Just for you. So it was funny today when I went to work, right? That was the only funny part about working today. Someone left a cup with a tea bag on the mailbox. There's a mailbox inside of the building, which is across from the entrance to our studio, right? And it sat there all day. Nobody moved it. Nobody touched that cup. Nobody came back to retrieve that cup, and it stayed there all day. You know, I was tempted. I was like, "This is a nice cup with a tea bag in it and somebody's backwash." I was tempted to take. If that cup is there tomorrow, boy, I swear for God, I'm taking that cup. It's just sitting there. I'm like, nobody thought to come back to get their tea. And then I left work last, yeah, well, not last night, but this evening, and it's raining. It's raining cats and dogs. So I'm on my way out the door, right? And there's Darlene Hill still standing there trying to get her umbrella to work. I'm like, oh, Craig Beasley, what's up? You know, she had to pin her hair up. She didn't want to, her weave to get wet. I think that's her hair. I think she just flat irons it. But she trying to get that umbrella to work. I'm like, okay, should I help her or just walk past? That wouldn't have been good, would it? That's not a good coworker. Just to walk past like, she had the umbrella. I didn't have anything. I just put my head down. What inspired you to stream, G? I don't know. My brother Wayne used to do it a long time ago, so that's what inspired me to do it. Because he did it. So plus a good friend of mine, Maurice Ice Culpepper, told me there was some money in it. So I was like, oh, cool. So that's what inspired me to stream. I think I did it first, as a matter of fact. back when StreamYard was Ustream. You could stream anything from your house, just plug your camera in and go for broke. I don't even think Ustream is still in existence. I think it became StreamYard and that was it. But I was doing it and kind of like what I'm doing now, I was doing the same thing. I plugged the camera in and I plugged my mixer into the computer and just started playing music. And, I had to monitor it on another computer to make sure it wasn't too loud. So that was it. Came here for them dollar bills, that's for sure. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. That's what I always say. So, dollar bill, y'all. So Saturday is the funeral for Willie Casper Perry, the Cha-Cha Slide man. Did you ever get into radio with your musicology? Did I ever get onto radio? Some 40 years. Yeah, I've been doing radio for 40 years. In Chicago, Lansing, Michigan. Um, I was down in Atlanta for a stint, a quick one. And of course, Gary, Indiana at WLTH twice. Once when they were a music station, and then again when they were a talk station. So pretty much for 40 years. A few other stations. WJPC, Dusty Radio 1390, GCI FM. So I've had a pretty long career. Considering how young I am. Yep. So that's what I did. I parlayed what started out as a hobby. I parlayed it into a career. Of course, Troy would disagree with me. So, but I heard Gary, Indiana, the worst city. Is that true? I got kicked out of Gary for saying that, so I can't say. I know that's right. Sukiyaki from A Taste of Honey right here on Bedtime Stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Someone asked me on Twitch, said, I'm not American, but I heard that Gary, Indiana is probably the worst city in the world. Is that true? I used to work out in Gary at WLTH. I worked there. And one day I was doing the weather reports. I said, rain today, rain tonight, and rain tomorrow. I said, well, it can't be any more depressing than being in Gary. They lobbied to get me off the air and run me out of the city, never to return again. That's a true story, for real. They kicked me off the station, yeah. Steeltown Records. And of course, United Records, which was in Gary, Indiana. Young Denise Williams used to work there. Here's Alexander O'Neill. Yep, Nisi used to work in the record store. Yep, that's how she was discovered. Steeltown Records, home of the big boy. That was my buddy too, Gordon Keith. Found out that wasn't really his name. I was like, why he come up with this phony name? It's not even a cool name, Gordon Keith. His alias. I guess they was after him or something. I watched something about Darian Dion Van. It made me interested in the city. That's crazy. Yeah, Gary was kind of, how can I put it? It was kind of corrupt. That's the only way to put it. You know, Mayor Hatcher, Rudy Clay. You know, it was kind of, yeah, it was kind of bad. It was kind of bad, you know. But I would be interested in seeing a documentary on Gary, Indiana. Like I said, you know, that's where I started my career, in Gary, Indiana, at a little radio station on Broadway, uh, and that was 36, 33, 36, something like that. It is now a restaurant right across the street from the laundromat, which is next door to the bank. So, one of my favorites, I tell you. Well, I had good times there at that station. Like I said, I worked there twice. Once when they were a music station, and once when they were a talk station. There was a young lady who worked there. Um, Her name was Joyce, and Joyce was married, but Joyce was fine. She was fine, and she was married to this firefighter named John. It's like, wow. So there was no way I could break up that marriage. No way. Not even a young guy from Chicago. Yeah. Not even the young guy from Chicago. You was ready to risk it all for Joyce. I was. Joyce was that cute. I was ready to risk it all. Now, see, back in the day, we didn't have computers. You know, it was back in the Stone Age. So we didn't have computers back then. So she used to sit at the computer, right? I mean, I'm sorry, the typewriter. So the typewriter sat on this little, you know, little thing that moved back and forth, you know, typewriter stand. Ha ha. Anyway, so she used to sit with her feet on either side of the wheels of the typewriter stand, so which made her legs open slightly. Anyway, trust bro, my game in the 90s was leaving my pack of cigarettes at the bar for a cutie to return them. Whew. When I tell you, she'd sit there with her feet on either side and just sit there and she would be typing and she's just, I'm like, and I don't know how we got on the subject, but we when are you playing Bon Jovi? Oh, at 12. So it's like, wow, how am I gonna get her? I was just plotting and thinking and like, if I bring her into the production room to do some commercials or something, or some drops or whatever, you know, because I knew she didn't wear underwear. How did I know that? Well, one day she was crossing the street to get in the car, and the wind kind of caught it, and I was like, Mitch McConnell. I was like, did she have those love me eyes? Oh my goodness, yes, she did. She always looked like she wanted to kiss me. She'd be talking. She all of a sudden looked down at my mouth. I'm like, don't look at my mouth. Don't look. Look up. Don't look at my mouth. Don't look at my mouth, please. Look me in the eye when you talk to me. Don't look at my mouth. And she had this real sultry voice. So, you know, she had the right voice to be in radio. I didn't. After that, I didn't see her anymore. It's like she just disappeared. When I left Gary to go to work in Lansing, I didn't see her no more. That was it. I never saw Joyce again. Once again. Go ahead, Stevie. All in Love is Fair. Stevie Wonder from Intervisions right here on Bedtime Stories. The Peanut Butter Brother, Dr. Al Greer, just ahead of foreplay. But before we do that, thoughts on this new generation. I believe the children are our future. Bed Bedtime Stories is a proud sponsor of Grubhub is a proud sponsor of Bedtime Stories. Right here on WOSD Radio DB Chicago, your home for old school and dusties, as well as WDLB Indianapolis, Chicago, Atlanta, and Cucamonga, and of course WRLNradio.com. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. It's time for Foreplay, which is a feature we do each and every night here on the big broadcast. This lady hails from Chicago. Of course, she grew up singing in the church like everybody else. She made her way to LA where she met a guy by the name of August Johnson, or as they call him, Augie. Augie had a group called Side Effect. She sang lead and background for that group, had a baby by him, and so did a few other women. Of course, she went solo and made a string of hits. Yep. And she never forgot her Chicago roots. Tonight, we feature in Foreplay Mickey Howard. This is Love Under New Management on Bedtime Stories. Only American radio I've heard is GTA, but you got the voice for it, bro. Well, thank you. Why, thank you. I've been told that once or twice. I'm always surprised when people, well, not surprised, but sometimes they give me kudos. I'm like, oh, well, thank you, appreciate that, thank you, kudos. Every now and then, I like some kudos. It sounds like a candy bar. Is it a candy bar called kudos? I'm sure it is. Kudos. But thank you very much. Like I said, I've been doing this. I've been at it for like 40 years. So it's a labor of love. It's got to be a labor of love because I ain't making a whole lot of money at it. So I just recently got a raise. Ooh, yeah. And you know what? That's when the big bucks come in. Because tomorrow I'll be on fries. Who knows? I might run my own McDowell's one day. You ever think about doing radio again, or is streaming the new replacement for it? For the past 4 years, I've worked at WVON here in Chicago, which is also heard on iHeartRadio. I do a show called The B-Sides, which airs Monday through Sunday um, at midnight, our time, Central Standard Time. So, if that's what you mean, yes, I've been doing that particular show since my buddy passed. He passed it on to me, and his name was Wayne Fields. He went by the moniker of Insane Wayne. So, doing radio again, yes, and again. My, I guess my ultimate goal is to do radio on Sirius XM, either Soul Town or The Groove. Seems like they only have one DJ on each station. Two on Soul Town and then one on The Groove. It's BK Kirkland. And then, of course, on Soul Town, they have Ken Spider Webb in the morning, formerly of WBLS, and Ms. Jeff Fox guy. I love your passion for radio and kind of DJing. Thank you. Sorry to hear about your buddy. Thank you. He was. He was my buddy. My buddy. My buddy. Casper was my buddy. Hey, little buddy. We were like Gilligan and the skipper. I guess I was the skipper. Hey, little buddy. Yeah. But yeah, he was. What can I say about Casper that hasn't already been said? I was on this Zoom call tonight. Well, not Zoom call, but on a StreamYard broadcast, and you know, he was a performer. He was an entertainer. Casper Slide Entertainment. That was the name of his company. Yep. He was and will always be one of the greatest entertainers that Chicago has uh, that has put out. You know, so I am proud to have known him. You know, it's like I've known him for so long. I don't even remember when I met him. That's how long it's been. He was truly my brother from another mother.
Greer and Bedtime Stories.
Mickey, go Mickey, go Mickey. Come home, Mickey Howard. Come home. Mhm. Pretty baby. Any information on Knock yet? Um, yeah, it's this Saturday, and it's gonna be well, actually Friday. Friday is going to be at Southwest Memorial on 79th and Kaminsky Avenue. That's Friday. Saturday, the services are at Holy Temple, 15912 Lincoln Avenue, and the repast following shortly thereafter at the Grand Ballroom. Live streaming info to be announced. I'm like, whoa, live streaming. Mm-mm-mm. Love you too, son. Come show me. What is the purpose of a repass? You know what, Greg? It's funny you should ask that. You know, I, I think I think we're the only group of people who have given it a name. You know, the non-colored folks. It's just a get together after the funeral. So that's it. That's the purpose of it. To I guess, I guess give their condolences and everything else. You know, condolences that they don't give at the funeral. Now, some people skip the funeral and go straight to the repast because there's food at the repast, right? It's like when I watched the movie Soul Food. Um, there was an episode of the Boondocks that said, "Yeah, we get together and eat the same food that killed Grandma." hmm So hey, that's it. Get together and eat some swine. Yep, yep. The stuff that put Grandma in the grave, that's what we gonna eat and feast on. Pig ears, pig feet, pig snout, ham, bacon, sausage. Yep. Let's get busy. Yep. And get together at the house. So everybody can get drunk and talk stuff and say, I hope I'm getting something in the will. Ah, that has always amused me. Why do people stand around like they're supposed to get something after a person has died? I don't get that. Um, just remember and celebrate that person and check on the family. Oh, thank you. Funerals are seeing bodies. I know I don't. Unless that body's still alive. I was dating this young lady, right? And she wanted to introduce me to our uncle and our father. Well, our uncle and our father owned a funeral home on the west side. So she wanted to introduce me to her dad and her uncle. We're walking into the funeral home. I'm like, where are we? Oh, we're at the funeral home. My dad and my uncle own it. Okay. She walks in the back, right? And all I see is bodies stacked up, like, you know, and breastises clamped together. And I freaked out. I was like, and I started walking backwards real slow. I was like, woo. He's slamming that chicken. hmm She was like, yeah, Dad, Uncle, this is Al. Where did he go? I was up front like, Dead bodies. Dead bodies. She was like, "Are you gonna be okay?" I'm like, "Nope. We'll be okay when we walk out of here." I'm like, I got to get out of here now. Wasn't no big deal to her. It's like, oh, okay. This is dad and uncle's business. That's what they do. Put bodies in boxes. I was like, oh no, no, no anime. Hmm. Well, and I saw her the other day on the west side at Loretto Hospital. We were doing a live remote with Matt McGill. Every funeral I've ever been to, I've always touched that person's arm, even when I was little. I ain't touched their arm, their face, and nothing. I think I may have kissed one. Even when my mom passed, I did not touch her body. You know, I just couldn't. You know, so and I was in the room with her when she took her last breath. The oxygen machine was going, and all of a sudden, it stopped going. And I looked, I said, because I'd fallen asleep, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. When you're younger and people tell you their parents died, I'm like, your parents died? Dad. What, they weren't old, were they? So we always associate age with, you know, dying. Casper was 58. So, you always think that, older people are going to die. Younger people die too. So when I was a kid and somebody would tell me their mama died or, their daddy died, I'd be like, what? You know, whether it be in a car accident or whatever, or just natural causes. You know, at the age I am right now, my mom was what, 82, 83 when she passed? Dad was 79. And they both had cancer. So I know I'm going to live at least until, yeah. If I don't get in a car accident, I'm, going to live until at least 80. You know, because they did. And so did my grandparents. So, yeah, as long as I don't piss nobody off or get shot or get in a car accident, I should live a long life. I'm not in bad health, so. Wrapping up foreplay. Gerald Levert and Mickey Howard. That's the way love is. Right here on Bedtime Stories. With the Peanut Butter Brother, Dr. Al Greer. Once again, hello to Greg Beasley. we were talking about why do we have repasses? I think that we're the only group of people who have a repass. Now you see them on television. You know, they get together after the person has made the transition, and they all go back to their house and eat and everything else. Hey, it's inevitable. Somebody's at home or at their house cooking, and when the repast, well, not when the funeral's over, you go over and eat, and eat the same food that killed grandma. You see that episode of the Boondocks? Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, here's Mr. Luther and Miss Beyonce. The closer I get to you on bedtime stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Yummy. The more it has something to do with the Last Supper. Okay. Never heard of that, but okay. Sounds good to me. Repass or pass literally means a shared meal by family and friends of the deceased. It provides a sense of community and comfort for those grieving. Thank you for that information. Because I couldn't come up with an answer for that. I didn't know. All I know is, ever since we were younger, we would always meet afterwards at someone's house and eat a meal and talk about how crazy they were when they were alive and, all sorts of things. So that was it. Mr. Redmond, yo, yo, yo. African Americans are not the only group of people who do that. That's more information that I, didn't know. But once again, I thought that we were the only ones that did. But if you watch some of the movies, they always have a repass. But I didn't know we gave it a name. I guess it was just a get together afterwards, but we call it a repass. Or maybe I'm wrong. Okay, Jewish people bring the family food for 7 days after a person passes. I forgot why they're allowed to grieve. Only allow for 7 days. Any news on the memorial? Check your email, sir. It will be sometime in September. Otherwise, there are no updates. But the mother of the deceased requests that we all be there and wearing suits. Anyway. Yeah. Or properly dressed. You know, no t-shirts that say F you, or I'm with stupid, or, none of that stuff. Sorry, Mr. Redmond, you'll have to put on clothes. Yeah. No baseball cap to the back, none of that stuff. No. You have to put on clothes. Put it. Let me get to the gym so I can put my tush in my suits. Yep. Yeah, you have to put on a suit. Mm-hmm. Do some push-aways. Push away from the table. Mm-hmm. Yep. She wants us all appropriately dressed and sitting at the head table. So, when and where will the memorial be held? In September. I don't know where, and I don't know what time yet. So, as soon as I get the information, because Mr. Washington has already been cremated. Yeah. And his organs donated to organ donation. His eyes and all that stuff. That's why you're not supposed to eat grieving people food. If they're the ones that cook for the repast, they unintentionally pour their grief into the food and passes it to you. Oh my. You're pretty smart there. Hmm. Hmm. Grieving people. How do we know they're grieving? You know. Right, that is good to know, Lady G. I'm like, I didn't know that. I'm 40 years old. I didn't know. Okay, 42. But anyway. Yeah, I didn't. That's news to me. It's like, excuse me, cook, are you grieving? Are you grieving? You're like, okay, I can eat that. Sometimes people will have the repast at a restaurant, by Captain Hard Times. I'm sorry, Josephine's. Yeah. So make sure the cook is not grieving. If that voice sounds familiar, that is Lenny Williams, formerly of the group Tower of Power, and of course known for the song "Cause I Love You." That is called "This Is for the One That Got Away." Right now, bedtime stories with your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. We're talking about repasses. You're not supposed to eat grieving people's food, while the ones that cook the food if they're the ones that cook for the repast, they unintentionally pour their grief into the food and passes it on to you. That's a new one. I'm like, whoa. So make sure you ask the cook. Excuse me, did you know the deceased? No, I'm just a cook. Okay, cool. I can eat the food. Lady G said, "No, I'm gonna pass on the repashed potato salad." Like, oh, and the crying collards. Yeah. Think about when they say someone put love into their food. It's the same when you're sad. You put sadness into the food too. Oh wow. I'm scared to eat now. I guess I'll bring a bag lunch on Saturday, right? Sorry, sis. I'll bring my sandwich. Here's Alexander O'Neill and Sentimental on Bedtime Stories. Mm, the sun. My mama calling. You said the crying collards. Mm-mm. That's what you You stayed in. The transition turkey wings. Oh, Lady G, you got jokes, sis. Mm-mm. Would you like some turkey? Oh, no, I'm good. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. 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 This is a big salt. Yeah, some of my tears fell in the pot. Oh, no. Mm-mm. 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 It's sentimental. Mm-mm. It's a bit salty. My tears fell into the pot. I'm done, Lady G. I'm done. I am so done. Transition turkey. Pam Hawkins, what's going on? To my life and gave it and made it brighter. It's not let me have anything. Transition turkey. Ha! Homegoing ham. Oh no. Lincoln Park Lakeview. Done for the night. Mm-mm. Homegoing ham. Tears fell in the pot. Call my sunshine. I'm next to the Bass. What's going on? That's funny. I looked down, I saw Chris Bass, and I saw Greer. My brother's name is Chris, right? Chris. So I looked down. I'm like, why is my brother on my live? I'm not a TV person. He only hangs out with TV people. That's like when I was on GCI. I was on the AM, and they had this thing where AM couldn't talk to FM, and FM. I'm like, huh? This young lady had started that. You know, don't talk to those AM people. They're AM. Ooh, AM is inferior. I'm like, I haven't heard from her since. Karen Lightfoot. Like she just dropped off the face of the earth. No Facebook page or nothing. Oh, don't talk to those AM people. Oh, AM. Ooh. Ooh. Homegoing ham. All right. That ended abruptly. Dun, 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 dun. Alexander O'Neill in Sunshine, right here on Bedtime Stories. Chris Bass, what's going on, sir? AM versus FM. I remember, Lady G, come on, give it benediction biscuits. Anyway, we're talking about the origins of the repast. Now, everybody does it. You watch these TV programs and movies, and the Jewish people, they feed the bereaved family for like 7 days. After that, they don't want to have nothing else to do with them. I'm like, oh, okay. So, and also we were talking about Chris, AM versus FM. Now, back in the day, I was on Dusty Radio 1390, all Dusties, all the time. And there was a young lady, she was on the FM. Well, she was the executive producer of the Banks and Company morning show. And she was like, oh, those AM people. Oh, now she was the only one that did that. The FM people didn't have a problem with me, especially, Bonnie DeShawn, Doug Banks, Harold Lee Rush, um, Jerry Cook, aka the Curl Man. None of those people had a problem. It was just that one person. That was Karen. I'm like, really? Okay. So, yeah, they were FM, the elitist, and we were AM, the the low people on the totem pole. Like when we all went to Rio, she was like, "How did you get to go to Rio?" I was like, we drew stars. Anyway, I got to go to Rio for free. Of course, I never went back. It's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. Hello, Chris Space. AM versus FM. Can we all just get along? Here's Heat Wave. My side. Woo, Lord. Benediction biscuits. Cut it out, Lady G. Ain't it past your bedtime? Shouldn't you be, yeah. Him. Shouldn't you be in bed? Benediction biscuits. Mm. Oh. That's the repass, the repass potatoes. No, not the repass potatoes. See, now you got me doing it. So I was supposed to get my nails done this week, but unfortunately, they all broke off on my right hand. So that's it. I think I have one nail left on my right hand. I'm even going to show you which one because it's cracked too. I tend to wear my nails a little bit longer because my fingers are so short. I call them booty diggers. one one girl I dated, she's like, "You got pedophile hands." I said, "What does a pedophile's hands look like?" Right. Resurrection ribs. Oh no, come on, Chris. All the more reason to get them done, Al. I know, right? AM radio kicked butt in the 60s and 70s. Da-da-da-da-da. The Big 89 Rewind with Fred Winston. Latanya, what's going on, Miss Hollywood? Resurrection ribs. I've seen enough tonight. You're at work at the La Rabita. I had all intentions of going to La Rabita this summer, watching the boats go by. Just never got a chance to do it, you know. I'm good, Latanya. They've been working me like a Hebrew slave at WVON. I'm just tired. I had my phone on top of my pillow listening to you until you said something about Luther and Beyonce. I woke up out of my sleep. Oh, no. So I got a question. We're getting off a subject now. So what happens when your belly button sticks out? Does that mean I have a hernia? Just saying. I have someone to look at it. Look at my belly. It's never stuck out before. I guess, you know, when you gain weight as you get older, it kind of pokes out. So I got two things going down there. Yeah. For real? Was it always like that? No, my belly button never stuck out. When I was a kid, it was always, you know, had to reach in there and clean it out with a Q-tip. But no, I have never had a belly button that stuck out. Never. You know, this is a new thing. Yeah, never ever. When they didn't cut the umbilical cord short enough. Nope. No, I think I gained weight and my belly button said, mine doesn't stick out. Have you been lifting anything heavy? Nope, just fat girls. That's about it. The norm. You know, the norm. Fat girls and speakers. Yeah. Fat girls and speakers. See, you ain't right. It's the truth. You want me to lie? What? Fat girls and speakers. That's all I ever eat. Google said, okay, what did Google say? Oh, the umbilical cord part. Okay. We ain't fat. We're full-figured foxes. Okay. Ever call a big girl fat while you're making love to her? Talk about a bucking bronco. But anyway, as your baby grows and your uterus gets bigger, it puts pressure on your abdominal wall, which as a result can cause the belly button to pop out and become an outie. John said I dozed off for a while. Oh, John. Mm-mm-mm. That's what Google said. Okay. All right, Google. Thanks. John said I have a hernia. Thanks, John. Okay. Congrats on your pregnancy. Well, thank you. Guess I'm gonna have to go on Maury right quick before they stop production of it so I can find out who the baby mama is. Somebody to knock me up. I swear. I think you might be pregnant. Y'all are silly. Y'all are silly. I think you might be pregnant, Al. But I follow all the, finally, I know, right? After all the precautions I've found, follow all the precautions, everything, birth control, all of that stuff. I'll take lifting full-figured foxes for 1,000 kinchecks. Chris? Mm-hmm. See, when I was a kid, I liked Little Women, not the movie, but or the book, but yeah, tiny with long hair and light skin, like most guys did. But they didn't cook. They just didn't. You know, it was the big girls that cooked. Yeah. More cushion for the pushing. Come on, John. That's what I'm talking about. More cushion for the pushing. Absolutely. Mm-mm. And just think, the African Fest is coming up, so it'll be a lot of African women there. I mean, real Africans. You know? Anyway, I'm watching Unsung featuring Michelet and Lisa Simpson's voice. Most patients with umbilical hernias notice a belly button bulge or discomfort over time. These hernias can get larger and more uncomfortable as the hernia sac gets pushed out. Okay. All right. Y'all just gonna make me go to the hospital, right? Ooh, excuse me. Lady G said she was watching Unsung featuring Michelet and her Lisa Simpson's voice. That's how she speaks. She sings, with a deeper vibrato. But when she talks, she sounds like she's been sucking on helium. But anyway, it's your peanut butter brother, Dr. Al Greer. That's going to do it for me. Thank you to Chris Bass, Lady G, John Caldwell, aka Bassman John, Greg Beasley, to Bubbles, Para, thank you. Chris, I said Chris Space, didn't I? Yes, I did. Latanya Lynn Garrett, aka Miss Hollywood. Pam Hawkins, she was on earlier, as well as Pat Westbrook, Lydell Redmond, my son Sincere, and oh yeah, you too, Troy. Thank you so much for being on my live. Tarani, appreciate you. Nanette Frank, I guess she fell asleep, you know. And that's about it. Yep, that's everybody. And you too, Trish. Till next time, blue skies, green lights, and peace. Good night, y'all. All right, ladies and germs. Nighty night, y'all. Peace and much love. Did I say that? Oh my God. Listening to too much radio. All right, guys. Nighty night. Google University. Hello.